I'm Mike Arning, Director of Communication here at Stewart-Haas Racing, and thank you very much for coming to today's announcement. A couple of things that I do want to go over. We have a NASCAR teleconference a part of us, so when we get to the portion where there's a Q&A, we'll go back and forth between the folks here in the audience and the folks there on the teleconference. And also, please take advantage of this time. There will not be any one-on-one interviews afterward. However, everybody up here on the dais will be here for as long as everyone here in attendance and on the teleconference have questions. So we'll go ahead and get right to it. On stage are the co-owners of Stewart-Haas Racing, Tony Stewart and Gene Haas. And Tony, you've always been pretty good about drawing a crowd. Today is no different. So tell us why we're here today.
I think it's more of a formality. I think you guys already know everything you need to know. But yeah, next year will be my last year in the Sprint Cup Series, and it was a choice that was 100% mine. There wasn't any pressure from anybody. If anything, it was the opposite. I had more people trying to talk me out of it than anything. So I think it's a scenario where everybody in their career at some point, makes the decision that it's time for a change, and it's nothing that you plan. I think it happens. I think deep down when it's time to do something different, to make a change like this. So it's kind of a bittersweet day. I mean, I'm excited about it, but at the same time I'm sad about it as well. I mean, I love what I do with NASCAR, and I love what I do as a driver, and the great thing is I'm not going anywhere. NASCAR is probably going to be the most disappointed of everybody today because they aren't getting rid of me, so they have to deal with me as an owner. So there's still the opportunity to get fined, and there's still opportunity to be put on probation, just like always, just from a different capacity than now. But the reality, I guess, of why we probably had to make this decision, I think, is because Mike Arning and Eddie Jarvis are just tired of dealing with me, and they said we can't do another year, so they forced us into this. But I'm excited about what we're doing in the future. I mean, the great thing is I think a lot of athletes and professionals get to this scenario and get to the point where they make this decision and don't really know what they're going to do with the rest of their lives. And I can say that I honestly have everything lined down and in place, and it's basically doing everything I'm doing now, just not driving a cup car. So I'm going to enjoy Stewart-Haas Racing. I enjoy working with Gene. I'm excited about what he's doing with the F1 side, and now I might actually get a chance to go to a Formula One race with him here in a couple of years. So I'm going to get to do a lot of things that I haven't been able to do. But again, I love this series. I love NASCAR. I love working with Mike Helton and Steve O'Donnell and the great people. And that's what it really boils down to. And that's why we're staying with all this. It's the people. It's all the guys in NASCAR. It's all the guys at SHR, and it's co-owners and other owners in the series, other drivers, crew chiefs. So those are the people that that's the reason I'm not going anywhere. I couldn't stand to be away from that family. So just changing directions a little bit, and I'm excited about it. I really am. I'm excited that I got 2 more chances. I got 2 more big wins on the schedule that I still want to win. That's the Daytona 500 and the Southern 500, and wouldn't mind adding another championship to that. So that this added year is not just a ride it out year. We're going to gouge our eyes out, and we're going to do everything we can to win races and win another championship. And I'm looking forward to that. So to be perfectly honest, I mean, there was a really good possibility that this would have happened at the end of this year. And the reason that we decided to go ahead and run through the end of next year is 100% because of the fans that have supported us through the years. It's I've seen and been able to follow what Jeff's done this year and see how much it's meant to the fans to watch him race and have the knowledge of knowing that it's their last year to watch him. So that's important to me, to be able to do this for our fans that have stuck through us, stuck with us through thick and thin and supported us. It's as important for me to do this for them as it is for me to do what I'm doing for my future. So that's why we ended up adding the year to it, and I'm looking forward to everything that we have to come. And we have one more thing before I let Gene talk. A lot of you probably were here yesterday, or some of you might have been here for the press conference here in the same room yesterday for Gene's Gene's Formula One announcement. The one variable he left out, I know it was just probably miscue, but he announced his full-time driver for next year in the F1 car. He didn't announce his second driver for the F1 team, and you're looking at him, so I'm going to apologize now for the cars in the crash, but it's just part of the business, you never do.
Gene, you know Tony well. You brought him on board as a partner to create Stewart-Haas Racing in 2009. You know, regardless of his driving status, what has he brought to this race team, and what will he continue to bring to SHR?
You know, it certainly was it's been a quick 7 years. We started this in 2009. You know, we were one of those backmarker teams, pretty much unknown. We had a few, you know, times when we stood out. I think we led a few races, but we never actually won one. And it was really a struggle. You know, Joe Custard was really instrumental in putting these little pieces together, and Tony had some kind of interest in maybe change. And quite frankly, if you've ever been around racers, they're always looking for change. They're looking for the latest swing arm or the spindle or whatever to make them go faster. So, you know, change in racing is pretty much standard course. But you know, all the doomsayers out there kind of beat up on Tony. It's like, well, why the heck would you want to leave a great team and do something crazy like this? And you know, even I had that question myself. It was a heck of a step for Tony to do something like that, to leave the security of his team, you know, being the championship driver, and you know, start to everybody look like a startup team. But what really comes down to is that you know, I had a good foundation. We had a nice race shop, good relationships with Chevrolet, Hendricks Motorsports. So we had all the fundamental pieces, and I think that's what Tony saw. Hey, I can go in here and we can be up and running. And that's what you saw in 2009. Tony and Ryan Newman came out of the gate, and they were incredibly fast and went right to the top. And people were wondering, well, you know, Tony must have been a genius to do all that. And you know, he fooled him. But you know, the reality of it is that you know, Tony brought the talent, and I had the foundation here. But without Tony, we never would have turned into the super team that we are now, winning 2 championships. So, you know, who was more valuable? Probably, you know, I don't think you could say either one of us was really all that valuable. But what the value is in the combination of the two of us. You know, he brings the talent, he brings the sponsors. You know, I had the foundation, and you put those two together, and you had a NASCAR superstar team. And this is just part of it. I think the transition of going from you know, drivers come, drivers go. It's just part of what you do in racing. And Tony is not only an owner but a driver. So this is, I think, a smooth transition. And it also allows Stewart-Haas Racing to you know, navigate the waters. We got sponsors, we got employees. There's a lot of responsibility. So this transition is going to be you know, something that this company needs to do, and we can prove that, you know, Stewart-Haas Racing is just not a you know, a one-shot wonder. It's one of these. It's a team that can go on and can compete, and we're going to be here for a long time. And it'll be great to have Tony be part of that. You know, too often drivers, when they retire from the sport, just disappear. And as much as some people would like to see Tony disappear, he's going to stay around for a while. So it'll be good to have him at the race track, and you know, we already have some plans to do some other things that probably will surprise people. But anyways, it was fast. It was a blink of an eye for me to you know, join up with Tony, and then you know, here we are talking about his retirement, just incredibly fast. But I'm sure that you know, going forward, that things will be changed just as fast again. But you know, that's what racing's about: fast-paced, fast cars. Anyways, I'll turn it back to Mike.
Sure.